Hello, early to it. Yes, I understand what you're talking about, and about accepting other people's premises. I am not concluding everything from the premise that there is a God, by the way. I can easily accept the idea that there is a God. I've thought that all through. One of the reasons I'm not worried about Pascal's wager is because I figured if there is a God, that God will look at me and my particular ethics. He will decide that if I was led a good life based on how I lead my life, not on if I worship Him. I can't imagine after I accept the premise of a God that God is petty. That would contradict my idea of the God. So I can accept the premise. Now, I haven't necessarily accepted your particular premise because you have a mystical, I've been called mystical, view that I'm not presuming to understand. I mean, it's obviously not just the traditional. I mean, if I were to accept the premise of the kind of God you think exists, it's not going to be some traditional kind of God that I already understand, I don't think. It'll be an interpretation I still have to learn. So I'm not going to pretend I can accept your premise before I understand it. And that's the thing with astotometry is, okay, so I have to give up my premise. I admitted in my last video to him, which that maybe I'm stuck in something. Tell me what it is. What premise do I have to suspend belief in order to give astrotometry a chance? Which one is it? I want to know which premise. Because, yeah, maybe some premise I'm holding on to is sticking me unfairly against this idea. So tell me which one it is. I'm willing to give up any of them. Cause and effect, logic, gravity, the Big Bang. What is the premise I'm supposed to give up? That's what I wanted to know. And I was asking this many different ways, and he doesn't want to tell me. So that's where we've drawn the line. He thinks he's casting pearls before swine, and I'm saying, what pearl or what am I supposed to think? Tell me what I'm supposed to think so that I can think astrotometry. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm even supposed to give up. Everything, all of my premises about everything. Well, I'm not going to give up my premise that I have perceptions, but I'm willing to go back that far. So that's why I was telling him, give me the observations or experiments that that you're building your system on. I'm not going to give up the idea that I exist at all and think about things. So tell me what to think about and put it in terms of perceptions because I get perceptions. And you know, if that's hard to do, fine, or, anything, but it's not quite good enough, it's not quite honest enough to put it all on me, like I'm acting like a swine for asking for the perceptions that relate to this theory, or what does it mean, or tell me what premises I'm supposed to give up. It's, he just kept saying do the math, and QM has the most accurate math of all. So just do the math. I do the math, and you know what I mean? It's not going to convince me. What math? Math with what inputs? What am I supposed to look at? I know there's a lot of enigmas in the natural world now. There's that, I think it's called somnolescence or some, I don't know. There's one where they can get water, air bubbles in water to output this crazy high energy with just hitting it with sound waves. There's, dark matter. We don't really know if it's even matter or not. I mean, there's all kinds of enigmas in science. So point to some of these and tell me how your system's going to address them better. Or maybe there's something else. I need to know what premises I'm supposed to suspend belief in before I can do that. And I don't think it's fair to say that the problem is that I don't do that. I think I'm really good at doing that. I'm really good, if you tell me what the premises are I'm supposed to hold in mind, to judge your ideas within a framework sympathetic to your ideas. I know how to do that. I'm very good. I'm trying to carefully learn what I need to learn from patterns and chaos in order to do that with this system. And he takes these questions as challenges. If I ask you, how does your theory explain gravity? And it's the theory of gravitation, that's not an insult. And you shouldn't assume that I am saying that your theory doesn't explain gravitation. I am literally asking what I'm asking. How does it explain that? And, I don't even know if if astotometry is a theory that includes gravitation. I mean, the only thing I really know is that he's explained some weather phenomena with it, and I didn't really follow why there was the relationship he's finding or what the relationship was supposed to be. He said he's done some predictions in advance. Good, but this is not how science works. It's not enough just to do a prediction in advance. We want to know exactly how you did it, and what do you predict out of the past, and we want to know if there's selection bias in the way you're approaching, testing your theory and all of these things. And it's fair. It's more than fair. It's you're granting somebody you're granting somebody legitimacy, and you're saying, well, I'm taking your system serious enough, and a serious system can answer questions and do that into the future and the past and cohere with a lot of different questions and challenges. And if it can't, then it's not me. I have not insulted anybody. I am giving you the benefit of the doubt to explain your system. And that's all I expect. And there's plenty of my parts of my system that are non-conventional enough that I get the same kinds of complaints, and I rarely get them as politely as I put them. So I feel that I'm in a clear. I'm totally able. Sometimes I might struggle trying to understand. Sometimes I might struggle not trying to figure out what premise it is I'm supposed to suspend belief in. And part of why I do it is because I enjoy suspending belief in things that I normally have a lot of confidence in. I find that very illuminating, and it helps my learning experience greatly to do that. So I thank you all for giving me a chance to question things I believe in, however strongly I believe in them. And so the problem comes is when I am seeking the information I need to go through that process, and people are telling me that the problem is I'm not willing to go through that process. That gets too insulting at a certain point. Though frankly, I would still go on with astotometry and trying to find it out if he didn't sort of recede into less and less information. He feels more and more threatened and gives me less and less information. I feel I've done everything I can to ask the questions I need to ask and not be threatening. So him feeling defensive is just got to be, his issue. And there's nothing I can do about that.